What's up, guys? This is your son Cole, back here with, of course, another clickbaity Fortnite montage. You know, while we're talking about clickbaiting things, let's talk about how amazing Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 2 has been, am I right? This is a disclaimer. If I got those chapters wrong or those seasons wrong in Fortnite, please forgive me. I do not play Fortnite. No, seriously, we're not going to be talking about Fortnite. We're going to be talking about clickbait. And clickbait is the biggest attraction in Fortnite anyways. Behind Tilted Towers, of course. So today we're going to be talking about clickbaiting. And where do you see clickbaiting the most? Facebook. See, now you might have thought I was going to say YouTube there, and that's because I actually did. I just laid over the audio, but that's besides the point. Facebook, though, Facebook clickbaiting is a completely different type of clickbaiting. This is we're pandering to 5-year-olds type clickbaiting, if you know what I mean. On Facebook, there's micro celebrities with millions of followers. There's gaming videos of GTA 5, which, reminder, it came out 10 years ago. And then there's Mr. Beast and a whole bunch of random niche stuff. Also, this next part isn't so much clickbait as much as it's something that pisses me off, but the Facebook videos are always 10 minutes long, or at least 5 minutes longer than they need to be. It'll be hydraulic press versus hockey puck. 3 minutes and 8 seconds long. How long does it take a hydraulic press to crush a hockey puck? How long? Definitely not that long. Or, on the contrary, UFC will be uploading full UFC fights of Brock Lesnar, so... And worst of all, these videos that are way too long to be TikToks, but also way too lame to be on YouTube or anything else, they end up getting millions of views. That Brock Lesnar fight, over 11 million views. But it also has 1 million likes. You know, it's UFC. Obviously, that makes sense, you know? The hydraulic press video, though, that has nearly 11 million views. And there's 2K likes on it. And the funny thing about the Mr. Beast video is they drop his friend's car into Orbeez 1 minute and 37 seconds into the video, and that's over and done with. Bam, they drop his car into Orbeez, and then it's hey, just kidding, it wasn't actually your car, it was a replica of it. Here's your car and it's fine, or whatever. Or they buy him a new car or something, or they blind 1,000 people, I don't know. But that's over with like a quarter into the video, maybe even shorter than that. Now, you've probably reached the point to where you're where does Brendan Fraser fit into all of this? Like the title of the video says. But that's where we get to this. So there's this video posted by a page called Life Stories by Goalcast. The video is on both Facebook and YouTube, but for some reason they're completely different videos. They talk about the same thing, but the Facebook video is way dumber. So we're going to be talking about that today. The video's caption, or title, says, "He kept Brendan silent for 15 years." And it has over 11 million views at the time that I'm recording this. Now, the smarter and more celebrity-obsessed portion of you might be oh, you're talking about the Hollywood Foreign Press Association president who, content warning here, sexually assaulted Brendan Fraser back in the early 2000s. That would make too much sense for Facebook, though. And I will give them just the slightest amount of credit. They do end up mentioning that in the video. But that takes over 5 minutes for them to even mention. But how many of you would have guessed it was about this?
Brendan Fraser disappeared for 10 years after being betrayed.
I almost gave my life at one point. You gotta be f***ing tired of not being number one. You're done.
The Rock was happy to take advantage when Brendan was on top of the world.
Brendan Fraser, I gave you your start in acting.
So you welcome me in.
It's a sign of respect.
But then The Rock saw his chance and took Brendan's place.
The first movie was a good movie. We had an opportunity to make it better.
I burned you a little bit with something. Come on, man. That's my part.
I don't give a f*** who is in front of me.
First, why the hell is Goalcast saying The Rock kept Brendan Fraser silent for 15 years? Or why does Goalcast just want to completely brush over all the other reasons that Brendan Fraser stepped away from Hollywood? Whether it's the assault, or his divorce, or whatever else. Why do they just want to brush over that? Or, maybe they just want to brush over the fact that he was possibly blacklisted after speaking out about the assault. There's a lot of different stuff here that they could be talking about, but instead they're talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This literally comes out of nowhere, and I could be wrong. Maybe there's a TikTok with 6 likes right now, and it talks about how The Rock and Brendan Fraser have beef, but I'm pretty sure this is the only instance of someone on the internet saying that those two men have beef. I don't I don't know. And actually, it seems like it's the opposite. It seems like The Rock has been talking about how Brendan Fraser has returned to the limelight recently. I mean, he's been acting, but like, he got really popular recently with like Doom Patrol, the movie with Don Cheadle, The Whale. Like, he's been in a lot of like really good stuff recently. And The Rock talked about that, and he didn't have anything negative to say. So, and you might be thinking, well, Cole, you're just making things up. But, well, if you want what this video, of course, lacks, that, of course, being proof, well, here's The Rock's video responding to the Renaissance.
I made The Mummy Returns, which Brendan said, come in to my franchise. He welcomed me in when he didn't have to, and he did, and I never forgot it. So I'm so happy for his success now and everyone giving him his flowers.
And now, I hate to say this, but this video continues on, and it doesn't get any better. It doesn't really get any better. I mean, maybe it does get a little better, but, like, that's a while into the video. They do go on to mention, like, his injuries. He had 7 years of surgeries. I didn't even know that until I ended up researching for this video. They talk about his divorce, about, you know, just, like, family issues, a whole bunch of different stuff that happened with him. But for 5 minutes in this video, they talk about how The Rock has silenced Brendan Fraser and how he's been surpassed by The Rock. And
while The Rock became the #1 action star, Brendan was forgotten and went from this to this.
He's huge now. To make a video that I'm assuming is trying to shine a good light on Brendan Fraser, and then to do a transition like that, wow, he looks completely different. He was 28 in this picture, and now he's 55 in this picture. I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, that would be so embarrassing to work for Goalcast. It really would. Let's just first watch the rest of that intro. And I do just want to warn you up front, they do talk about a lot of serious topics. I mean, again, aforementioned assault, they do end up mentioning that. But they also talk about a lot of other different things. And one of them's kind of really messed up. One of them's really messed up, and they take it completely out of context. So I just want to warn you that's coming up in like the next minute or so of the video. So, warning. I'll try to put it on screen and say like what the timestamps are if you just want to skip that. So let's carry on.
And then the phone stops ringing.
But Brendan refused to quit,
I want to give everything that I can.
and it almost killed him.
He needed multiple surgeries on his spine.
Overcome with panic and fear.
What is going on around me?
And The Rock kept quiet while Brendan disappeared.
No, not at all.
Up by this industry.
But now Brendan is back, and he wants justice.
You can't get rid of me that easy.
They're going to have to try harder because I don't scare that easily.
I have to make a statement.
But what will it cost him this time?
Am I still frightened? Absolutely.
You have to have the courage. It's a risk.
Brendan finally exposes the man who made him disappear.
In case you were curious about the integrity of this video, I actually did a little bit of digging and found a couple of the interviews that this intro pulls from. And if you haven't noticed, their jump cutting between random interview clips totally is whack. If any video does that, please watch out for that, because it usually means they're being dishonest. For example, there's this clip of this random guy talking about how he got real effed up by the industry. I don't even know if he's talking about Brendan Fraser there. I have no idea. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what the interview was. Couldn't find it. Maybe you can, but I couldn't find it. Same with The Rock's clips. Like, I don't know if he's directly talking about Brendan Fraser, but I'm inclined to say no. And by inclined, I mean I literally found evidence that completely contradicts what they're trying to say. So, for example, the part where The Rock says, "We had an opportunity to make it better." That. So he's presumably talking about Journey to the Center of the Earth. That is confirmed in this video. Now, I didn't think it was super important to find The Rock's interview. I mean, obviously, yes, it is important, but I found Brendan Fraser's interview first. And he says in an interview talking about the show The Affair from 2018, he's asked a question and says, the question is, "Did that burn you a little bit?" Following up where Rock said, "We had an opportunity to make it better." Brendan Fraser's not even asked about that. He's asked about Tom Cruise rebooting the Mummy franchise. And whenever Tom Cruise said that, you know, Brendan Fraser was asked if it burned him a little bit. And he even says that it didn't. He's like, no, you know, I'm happy for Tom. I really love Tom. He loves Tom.
Tom Cruise is rebooting The Mummy.
Who?
That's what I was looking for. What did that burn you a little bit when you saw that? You're like, come on, man, that's my part.
Long answer, no. I think Tom's gonna be great. Come on. We all see everything, just about everything he does. I know I will. I will be a happy first day ticket buyer to go and see what they do with it and say I could have done it better.
So yeah, Goldcast used this clip completely out of context, which I'm pretty sure this was obvious to you, dear viewer, you of course being my dad, and it was very clear to me, which is why I did research on this video. Anyways, Goldcast's video is, just keeps getting more interesting. This next part is where things get really, really, really stupid, and I'm gonna be honest, I laughed out loud when this happened, just because it's so baffling how far they stretch the truth in this video. It's truly baffling. So let's just watch this next clip and see how you all feel about it.
I almost gave my life at one point. I was on a platform with a rope around my neck. I thought, I'm gonna make this look really good. So I took a few deep breaths and I realized I was on the balls of my feet and the rope was going up and then the world kind of dialed down. I came to and the stunt coordinator goes, hey, congratulations. You've just joined the club with Mel Gibson. He got choked out on Braveheart too.
So yeah, that's it. Brendan Fraser had a scare on the set of The Mummy with a gallows stunt. And that's it. That's the truth. And it's not like he's trying to be better than The Rock. It's The Mummy. The Rock wasn't even... He was in the second Mummy movie. I'm pretty sure this was in the first one. So that doesn't even make sense. And, like, genuinely, this video just keeps getting dumber by the minute. I mean, that full intro, that's really dumb, but it just... This whole video, it's just so dumb. I dropped out of college and I'm not this dumb. And after this point, it basically becomes a, conversation between these two people. Their names are Charlie and Melissa. And I don't want to rag on them too much, but they say some things... They don't really talk about this with sensitivity or kindness, to say that. So why should I? I also just want to say, I'm not going to be showing this full video throughout my video. If you want to go watch it for yourselves, I'll even link it in the description, so you can go watch this complete mess of a video. But I also just want to say, like, they use a lot of things out of context. I'm not going to use them out of context. I just want to say that I'm going to be cutting around their script a bit, so we don't have to watch them talk about The Rock's wrestling career for however long. You know, I just want to skip past parts that aren't necessarily important. Good? Good. First thing I just want to say here, they contradict themselves again in their editing. They show this clip from this old woman talking about how Brendan Fraser just walks into the room and he's so polite and you know, like, he stands up very straight when talking to her, all this stuff. And he says it's a sign of respect.
You have an innate sense of politeness. You stand up when I come into the room?
It's a sign of respect.
But earlier in the video, they show Brendan Fraser right after they show a clip of The Rock saying something unrelated.
Brendan Fraser, I gave you your start in acting.
He welcomed me in.
It's a sign of respect.
But then The Rock saw his chance and took Brendan's place.
And then they follow it up with Brendan Fraser saying it's a sign of respect. So it's completely out of context. They keep contradicting themselves like this, and I just don't get it. But now they're like, they don't even care. They're just contradicting themselves in their own video. They don't need me to go tell people that it's wrong. But also the people of Facebook, they're not that smart. And I know Charlie and Melissa haven't been shown on screen that much, and I, again, don't want to be super mean to them or anything. But I do just want to point out this. Charlie's talking like he's not in a video. He's talking like he's having a normal conversation. And Melissa's talking like she works for Watch Mojo instead. And it's weird because they're not doing a voiceover the entire time. They're filming themselves talking about this. And I'm not saying Charlie's way is right, but I'm definitely not saying Melissa's way is right. You can't just talk in a Watch Mojo voice for everything.
I think he's a lot
more gentle, and it comes across.
But that backfired because he would do whatever people asked him to.
It seems like he was afraid of his career running out. He told GQ magazine, "The phone does stop ringing in your career, and you start asking yourself why." But little did Brendan know that this fear would come true.
See?
I had a few injuries that became another injury.
Brendan's body was failing him. Slowly, he started to take on less and less work until he disappeared and nobody knew why.
Yeah, remember, he looked completely different.
Yeah, the media was all over it. They started taking pictures of him and making fun of his appearance.
Haters have a lot to say about Brendan Fraser's appearance.
He's huge now.
Brendan went a bit too hard on the burgers.
Holy did he age bad.
1. Pics that go hard as fuck. 2. Does the editing on this seem a little weird to you, or is that just me? It just seems so demeaning. Like, they're specifically using, like, paparazzi photos that are trying to take, like, unpleasant photos of him. And they show, like, no other pictures taken by any other media. It's just paparazzi photos. Except for this one, from The Mummy. And in case you want, like, a timeline of events on how long it's been since The Mummy came out, I wasn't even born yet. I didn't exist. I wasn't even a little baby. I was like, that was me. I was gone. I didn't exist. And The Mummy came out. That's how long it's been since that movie. And it's not like you would, like, take a baby photo of mine and be like, whoa, he's huge now. It doesn't make sense. Also, you paid other staff to read those comments out loud. You could have just had Charlie and Melissa read them. Or maybe, like, an AI voice, or, like, you just have Charlie and Melissa come in for voiceovers if they're reading them later. I just don't get why you paid other staff members to specifically read out people talking terribly about him. I don't want to keep saying that things don't make sense in this video, but it's true. It doesn't make sense. And listen, I get that they're trying to show how cruel the internet was to him. They were, but they're not relaying this like it's something that happened. They're like trying to paint it like a movie. Like, here's your antagonist, and your antagonist is in the video. It's not like an outer source of a thing that already happened. It's like, hey, here's people reading out these terrible comments right now. And to make things even worse, the guy in the video, Charlie, he literally says word for word, yeah, he looked completely different. He's saying that, like, by himself. I don't know if they scripted this, but, like, he's saying exactly what all these other people are saying, and you're trying to make this video of him look good. Why would you include that?
But what no one knew was that Brendan needed 7 years of surgeries because of all his work injuries.
He was in and out of the hospital. He needed multiple surgeries on his spine, a partial knee replacement. He even had to have surgery on his vocal cords.
And now they get to his injuries. I think it's important that they bring this up, because at least it's some truth to the video, but it kind of muddles it all when parts of the video just aren't entirely true. And it's even weirder to follow it up with this.
And when Brendan did his first interview in years, everyone could tell something was off.
I've relented a bit in recent years.
Dude, Brendan Fraser just talks like that. I swear. I watched that full interview with The Affair, and I've seen a couple other interviews from Brendan Fraser talking to people, and he just talks with a slight stutter. Not like a stutter, but like pauses in speech, just normal things. Like where I stopped talking there for a second, he uses ums and uhs. He just does. That's just how he talks. And then, to make things even worse, they follow that up with this.
You know, he does seem depressed.
What the actual hell? I get that Brendan Fraser has talked about being sent into a bit of a depression following some stuff that they actually mentioned in this video. But imagine if you were, like, watching this video and then you just commented, like you typed down below, "Damn, Cole, you seem depressed." What? They then go on to mention about, like, his mother passing away and some other serious stuff that happened to him, and it takes them like over half this video to even talk about truthful stuff. They also talk about his assault, finally. Took them 5 minutes into this video. They talk about that, and I'm gonna show a clip of them talking about, they talked about his assault next, so I just want to warn you again, they are gonna be talking about that in this clip, so just another warning.
Brendan had been sexually assaulted by the former president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, but he never told anyone about it.
saying, "I became depressed. I was blaming myself and I was miserable. It made me feel reclusive."
And to make things even worse, his marriage collapsed.
And Brendan had to watch The Rock replace him because he could still do what Brendan couldn't.
Nope. There you go again, okay? You talked about the actual thing that kept Brendan Fraser silent for a long time. You start talking about stuff that actually happened to him, and then you bring The Rock back into this. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. This whole video just seems like they're setting up a WrestleMania match. That's how goofy and ridiculous this is. And I just want to reiterate, this video could have easily talked about the truthful stuff in the beginning of the video, the intro, but instead they decided to clickbait it and completely lie about things. But nope, instead they decided to focus on completely untrue things and a rivalry that supposedly is between Brendan Fraser and The Rock. It doesn't exist. They even show like a full clip. I think it's the Tom Cruise clip that we were talking about earlier. They show that full clip in this video. It's just 6 minutes into the video. So, like, they're being completely untruthful in the beginning, so people watch that, and then by the end, like, they've zoned out completely. That's what I did. And then you just don't hear the rest of it, the truthful stuff that they're talking about, and you just zone out. People leave comments about, wow, The Rock's such a dick. And that's it. That's the whole thing. And it's so untruthful, and there's no credibility to it. And they could have made a really good video talking about how Brendan Fraser returned to acting, but instead, they just slander him for most of the video and then bring up The Rock randomly because The Rock's a big thing. I mean, The Rock's been a big thing for a while, but like, still, they bring up The Rock to try to bring more traction to this video about Brendan Fraser. And it's just a cheap way to make content. The video continues on. They talk about his assault, like a lot more actually. Again, just sucks that it took so long in this 8-minute video to even talk about that. And then, because of course, they had to throw this in there.
And The Rock finally spoke out about how Brendan helped his career.
Dwayne Johnson shared his well wishes and thanks to Brendan. "Man, this makes me so happy to see this beautiful ovation for Brendan. Rooting for all your success, brother."
He welcomed me in when he didn't have to, and I never forgot it. So I'm so happy for his success now.
What has it meant to have people so excited to see you back?
I feel the love. I didn't go that far away.
Yeah, I know. You know they had to do it, okay? We're gonna make this video about The Rock even if it's the last thing we do. They had to do it. But again, if you didn't already know, these two men do not hate each other, okay? They've talked about each other just every now and then. It doesn't seem like they're, like, super good friends, but they definitely don't hate each other. There's no evidence of them hating each other, and they're just completely making it up for this video. It's all in the name of clickbait. Anyways, if you liked the clickbaity title for this video, whatever I ended up deciding it was, make sure to click that big red subscribe button below. No, Dad, no, you scroll back up. You scrolled down way too far. Scroll back up. You see that big red button that says subscribe? Click that. Good, sweet. Anyways, thank you to all of my parents for watching this. I promise I will come out of my room once I beat Elden Ring again. Peace. Anyways, thanks for subscribing if you did. If you didn't, well, fuck you, man. Oh, that's stupid. That's dumb. That's dumb.